Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. There's been some good moves in the week, and it looks like the market is on a trend now. It's time to really um, put in some money into your accounts now. We've been in corrections for quite some time, and the market is now really starting to move. This is actually the time to make money. So we've got a couple of setups that we're going to discuss and forecasts that are looking very good that we've been looking at in these webinars. All right, so for the next week, there's a lot of trade setups that we're going to be looking at. All right, so for those that want to contact me, my contact details are under the description of each and every video on YouTube. So this video is available on YouTube after this live webinar. If you want to join us live for the webinar, my apologies, this week I posted this late. You'll find the link for the live webinars in the comment. So that I'll usually pin the comment on the latest video. That will be the link to the live webinar of to the latest live webinar. Alternatively, you can also find that on my group on Telegram. So this group actually is not for trading or any charts or analysis. It's just simply this is simply where I post the links to the webinar and the link to the complete recording of the video. So you can also find the recording on my Facebook profile. That is my Facebook profile. There, let's have a look here. You'll find that on my Facebook profile. That is my name, my profile name on Facebook. So you'll find that link on my Facebook profile as well. I'm not very active on Twitter, but you can also find that on Twitter. Let me just see on Twitter what it looks like. That is my name on Twitter, my handle on Twitter. So I'll usually post the recording there. Okay, so if you want to contact me and you want more information about the course, so those are my contact details, either my email address, my mobile number that you can use for either Telegram or WhatsApp. And those are the channels that you can reach me through. So if you're interested in the course, the next one is going to be on the 17th of June. It's a 10-day course, basically a 2 weeks course. For more details on that, as far as the content, the timing is concerned for the course, send me an email and I'll send you all those details. Even if you're not interested in joining the course now, the course is pre-recorded in videos. So when you join, you receive a full recorded course. So that means you start learning immediately as soon as you join our group. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with the cryptocurrencies. We've switched since the beginning of the year. We start with the cryptocurrencies because from the beginning of the year, we've been talking about how the cryptos are looking interesting. Right, so I'm going to start here by showing you what we've been looking at initially, and what the setups look like now. Right, so what we have been saying in the beginning of the year, so look at the structure and this is how we adjust, and this is the practical way to apply the Elliott Wave theory. You're always going to have more than one alternative, and having more than one does not mean that you're going to miss the other. There are confirmations that tells you which alternative is the most probable, which one is confirming. So we have got this. I'm going to go into a bit of detail just to show you what the adjustment is. So we have got this move, the swing move that we have got from the beginning, or from a couple of years back up until the end of 2018. So the market has been in this correction since the beginning of 2018. So from last year up until today, we have been looking at this correction and waiting for it to give us this move. What is this move? It is this move. So if you look at the past videos from last year, from 2018, you'll find that we have been tracking this correction in order to get this move to the upside. Okay, so that is the move that we were looking for based on how this one started here. So now let's look how this has played out since we've been looking at, and the structure that we've been looking at. So we have to go into a bit of detail in terms of structure here. So this is what I have been looking at before. So I've been looking at this to do this. This move to the downside is a three-wave move. It's actually a three-wave move here. It's 1, and it's 2, and it's 3. It's clear three-wave moves that is not forced. Okay, so from there we looked at this to be an internal B, an internal internal corrective structure here with a complex B correction here that looks like this. So we had this as a pullback, and this is the complex B corrective structure that we looked at. We looked at it to be doing something like this: 1, 2, 3, right? Now with this, that meant that we have got this pullback here. We needed to get that pullback in yellow. Okay, so when this move started going up, we're looking at this to be making this move, and look for it to go back again to complete, because that would have been an incomplete move. If that is the structure that we're looking at, then we can get this structure to the upside. Okay, then we can get this move. We are still looking for the same move, but we were looking for it to come down here first before it goes. Now, what will that structure have been? Now, this structure would have been something like this, and this is how we would have labeled it. So you've got 3 wave moves down. This actually should be red. Let's get the degrees right. Let's get the degrees right here. It's not going to be yellow, it's going to be red, and that red is going to be like this. It's going to be 1, it's going to be 2, it's going to be 3, and then that move. So this red is this move. Okay, so you would have got this move to the upside, but looking for it to come down with this one before it goes. Okay, but that is not how the market moved up to this stage. We did not get this move to the downside, and it has gone like that. So now the question is, will this reverse from here and then we get our move to the downside before we go? It does not look likely now. So how does this affect the structure? So let's first label the initial structure, the first alternative. That would have been 3 waves down, 3 waves pullback, and this move to the downside. So a simple W, not like that. So we would have had it as a simple WXY structure, and internally here you would have had another ABC structure, because you've got an impulsive move here, A, 1, 2, 3. The B degree there is, the green degree is a B, and your C. Now, if you wanted to go this lower, you would do this as an A, or rather W there, because it's 3 waves, W, X, and a Y. Okay, and this here would have been this structure here. That is the X wave for this green degree. Now, how is this structure playing out now? I want to make an adjustment now, because this does not look like it's going to come back, and it looks like we have already got our move to the upside. Okay, so let's see how we make the adjustments. Last week, this is what we showed. I think for the last 2 weeks after this move has happened, this is what we've shown. So I'm going to take this off for now and show you the simple structure that we are now going to look at. We're not going to look at the complex piece correction. What we're seeing now is that this has actually made a very simple structure. A very simple structure. Let's see. Now let me rather clear everything here now. You've got a move end of 2018. Corrective structure in 3 waves. Let's start with the yellow degree. That is 3 waves down. Okay. What we're seeing here is that there is a running flat here. Now look at this running flat here. I'm going to go and show that with the lower degree as well. Now that running flat is a 3-wave structure. We're going to come to it. That is a move. From the running flat, you get a simple 3-wave move. So we're going to show that one as well. So that is a move that has ended there. Now let's go internally. Let's look at the internal structure. We're on the daily here now. You've got 1. This is still what we had initially as well. 1, 2, 3. Now you have this running flat that looks like a 1, a 2, and a 3. It breaks the previous low a bit here, and then it makes a move to the upside. Now it comes down, makes 3-wave move here, and makes the last move. So that looks like that would have been a complete move. Unless this comes down, we're going to look in the first alternative, but we're not looking at that. So the first alternative was either for it to make an expanding flat, but if we're looking at that expanding flat in the first alternative, it was going to be out of proportion and out of degree. Okay, so the only thing that would have made sense is if it reversed here and let me just make this one with a big structure. I'm going to remove it again. Just want to show you what that initial structure would have been. Let's show that with the blue and show you that this running flat here would have been too big. So this is the running flat. If it is a running flat and it reverses here, that will make sense. But if it now becomes an expanding flat, that structure is going to be out of proportion. So that means this length here and this one is going to be out of proportion, and we're not going to expect still that move to do that. So okay, so that was just to show that structure and why we're making this adjustment. Now, how do we label this? It's now very simple. It's now a simple three-wave structure, no complex correction in it, WXY. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking for this move to keep continuing. Let's do that again. Show with the right thickness here. So we're now looking at this move, which has now started happening here. So from there, we're just expecting this one to go and possibly retest the previous highs there. Okay, so at this stage, this move has started. We're not showing any signs of reversal, so it looks like any corrective structure you can now just start keeping on buying Bitcoin, even if it's for the long term. So I've been saying you need to buy Bitcoin long term when we're getting, even when we're getting these moves to the downside here, when we're getting this correction and it was coming down, from down here, we were starting to look, and I said you need to start looking to buy it or long term. Okay, so that is the structure that you're looking for now. So we're gonna go down into the lower time frame. But before we do that, so if you would like labeling, so this will be your three-wave structure that you can label as a WXY structure. Here you've got an ABC structure. Now it's very simple. ABC. Okay, WXY. Now you can even go lower and label the structure 1, 2, 3. That is your WXY in the green degree. WXY. Okay, so you can do that for all the lengths here and keep going down lower with the degrees, or you can go up with them. So now what is the structure? So what we're looking at here is this big blue one here, that is an A, B that looks like it has completed here at the bottom now, and then a C, which is what we've been looking for all along. Okay, so let's keep track of this and see how this plays out. Okay, so this may not go all the way as an impulse. So I think I've shown the alternative, but I'm not gonna make it complicated now. So this is another possibility, but I'm just gonna show it high level. We're gonna go into it in detail as this plays out. So there's another possibility here that will still be going up, but this can be a 1, 2, 3, and you get a 1 and a deeper correction, similar structure as this one, and then it makes a move like that. So it may not go with an impulse. So if it does that, that could be a 3 move down, 3 move up, maybe a passing move down and a move to the upside that makes a big regular or expanding flat. So I'm just showing you that there is that possibility that this may not necessarily be the one that actually goes all the way. Okay, so that is a structure that's the long-term focus on Bitcoin. So we're now going to focus on the lower time frame and see how you can enter this. So we have taken this trade. Let's look at this. We've taken the Bitcoin trade. When it started doing this. Now, this is practical trading. So as you've seen, we may have missed this first part of the move, because from this first part of the move, I was still expecting this one to come down and then go. But when it made this corrective structure here, that is when I said we need to buy this. And this was the entry point. And we've shown this in one of the webinars. If you go check the date here and look at the webinar, you will see that we were looking to buy Bitcoin here. We first bought when it did this. When it did this first, in 2 consecutive weeks, it made this corrective structure, which looked like a running flat. We said we are looking to buy from this structure. This was not a good buy because it went and come back down and taken out the flag entry there. Now, the second entry, which was the following week after that, there was a clear entry point, this one here with the structure. Immediately after the running flat, you get a pulse, you get a correction, and that gave you an entry with a very small stop, and then this one, we're just taking it up. Okay, all you need to do now is just to protect your profits and move your stop around that level. Okay, so those who've taken it, that's the way you should be. So you can see that you have missed this, but now you've got this move that is high probable that you've entered in. So this would have been a risky move, even though you would have been profited if it worked out. But the reason why I was not looking to take any moves to the upside here is because I was still expecting one down before we go. So this is practical. There is no magic. We need to have a look at this. So York is making a comment that I actually made a comment to invest around 3,100. So watch the previous videos, you'll see that it's not about proving a point. I mean, if you're watching the video, you're trying to get something that will help assist you in your trading. And if this assists you, then keep watching, and just all you can do for me is just to like the videos so more people can watch this. All right, so let's get going with this. So that is how this is going, and you'll see that we've had this pullback here on the 4 hour. We've had a pullback here that's pushing up higher again. I don't think this is going to be any regular flat or anything like that. If you get an entry point here, keep buying Bitcoin, keep buying Bitcoin. You can just put your stop here. It's a bit far. Obviously it is quite a risky because it has now moved so far. So if you wanted to add, or if you want to get in here, any corrective structure, look to get an entry point. Just make sure that your stop is enough for the trade to breathe. So that is Bitcoin, and it's looking interesting, and so does the rest. So do the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Now let's look at Litecoin. Looking at Litecoin, we're on the 4 hour here. This looks like it's making a regular flat here, or running flat. 1, 2, 3 down here. 1, 2, 3 up here. You can see it retest the top here. Now it's coming down with this move. Can this one make a move one more down here like this and make a running flat like that before we push higher? Okay, so we need to watch that. Okay, so you need to watch that, because this does not look like a very nice running flat here. It's out of proportion. It will make sense if it was a little bit, at least at the 60% here, that will look like a decent running flat. But for now, it does not look like it. It may be that there is no relationship between this structure and this is just going to keep going up. Okay, so but you need to watch it. If you see it starts coming down here to come and retest here, then it's even better for entry. Okay, so you can see you had an entry point here. So looking at Litecoin on the higher degree, we actually forecasted the reversal spot on here. Let's look on the daily here. This blue box we got. So you can see that Litecoin is actually a lot simpler than what we looked at on Bitcoin. So it was simply this structure on Litecoin. Pull back here, and this move down into our blue box there. So that is your blue box, and we forecasted this. This blue box, we did not focus it in hindsight. We focused it way before it happened. So we should probably have known when this one was reversing that was also the reversal for Bitcoin. So we thought this one was going to follow Bitcoin, but instead Bitcoin is following this one after the reversal here. Okay, so that's all right. So let's see how this one plays out. Are we going to keep going from there, or are we going to get one more down before we go? So either way, the market should confirm for you. Okay, so that is the move up here up to the end of 2018, and now the move around here seems to have started. Okay, looks like the cryptos are on the rise now. Look to invest long term as well. Okay, not just short-term trades. All right, so that is a Litecoin. Ethereum is similar to Bitcoin. The structure for Ethereum, we're looking at it exactly the same, except Ethereum had only 3 waves and no complex B. This one is a pullback, and this one here coming down here. So Ethereum as well, we were looking at this to be making a corrective structure. So when it was coming down here, we're starting to look at this to be a regular flat, even if it was going to do that, up and then down before we go. Okay, so that was going to be a 3-wave pullback there. We come down and then we go. But like Bitcoin, we did not get that one more down. Now we're correcting with this structure. We're going to look for this one to keep doing this. Okay, let's look at the lower degree in the 4 hour. Same as Bitcoin, just a pullback. If you get another entry point on the 1 hour, you take it. Very impulsive now. It's on the trend. This is when the market is trending. That's Ethereum. Ripple, Now Ripple, we got this move, even though it is actually not all the move that we were looking for. Remember, I've been looking for an impulse, and I said the impulse is coming on Ripple. Yes, we've got somewhat an impulse. It is quite a number of points, but that is not the move that we are looking for. Okay, we've got this move now. I'm on the daily now. We've got this move, this impulsive move, but that's not the one I'm looking for. The one I'm looking for is this one, this pulsing move. Can we get to that level? So we wanted Ripple to just do this, to just come down here, retest the low here of this one. It did not, but as I said, it does not have to. That's why I said 3 weeks back when this was doing this, buy this, because this could be the one that goes there. Right, so if you bought there, you just need to keep holding it and anticipate that it gets to this level. Because like the other cryptos, if we're wrong with the structure on this one, let me switch off here. This one can actually just do that, and this be the correction. This is the correction that would have ended there, and then we start getting the move like the others, just like that. Okay, so that's why I said you buy here, you hold. Okay, so initially you're going to be looking for this one to come down, to come up to this level here. Okay, because from there you can get this one more down before you go. But we're looking at the other cryptos, it does not look likely that you're going to get that move. Okay, so that's what that looks like, and we're going to be looking for the cryptos to keep trending to the upside. So every corrective structure, let's look on the 4 hour, every entry point, corrective structures, you start looking for upside, because there is no sign of reversal on the cryptos at this stage. Let's have a look here. We're going to move back. This one could be a correction, and that does this, and then just push higher. So just keep an eye on this one. We were looking for this one to keep pushing higher and to make that pulsing move that we were looking for. All right, so that's all on the cryptos, looking good. Start investing on the cryptos, it looks good. All right, so let's look at the indices. We look at the S&P 500. So the S&P 500, so there was a number of comments saying that the analysis on the S&P 500 was wrong. So I said last week, we are at this area now. You're going to expect a bit of a deeper pullback. That's exactly what you got. So a lot of people panic too early. As soon as you get a move to the downside, you think it's crashing. This is why when this was coming down here, a lot of people were panicking and saying the indices are crashing. You need to understand what the structure is. And this is the structure. The reason why I said this, we're expecting a bit of a deeper pullback here is because we're looking at the structure. Elliott discovered 13 patterns, and we're just looking to identify those 13 patterns and how they interlink with each other. Now, just look what I'm looking at here, and this is what I don't usually show. You're looking at the front end of a very detailed analysis here. This is something that we obviously share with the members in the group. So let's have a look here. This is wave 4, and if this is wave 4, our wave 5 can only end here if this is going to be a truncation. Okay, so we're not looking at a truncation, we're looking for this one to keep pushing higher. Okay, so we have made a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move here. So that could be a wave 1 in the lower degree, in the yellow. Could be a wave 1 in the yellow. So this could be your 2, and this one will still push higher. So you can have an extended wave 1, and you can have wave 3, 4, and then a 5 before this wave 5, before wave 5 is completed. So that's why we're saying a bit of a deeper pullback. Now, how deep will it go? You would not have known initially until this happened. So this is what we said. I said last week, the structure that I showed, I don't know if it was last week or the week before. Let's have a look here. I said, even if you have gaps, let's look at this. So we have this one here. Let me just look at the running flat that we looked at was this one. Go watch the previous videos. You'll see that we identified this as a running flat. This one as a 3-wave move, and this one as another 3-wave move. And I said, this is a WXY. And if that is the case, the only thing that can happen here is that this one will give you a move to the upside. You're going to get a correction, and then it's going to go either that, or you get another one, retest the top, come back down either with 3 or 5 wave moves. the number of waves will determine what the structure or the labeling is going to be. So if you get this one you can get an impulsive move all the way to wave 5 to complete the wave 5. Or it can be another WXY, WXY. If this is the case, then you get a move to the upside after this corrective structure. Now you've got this move, it's a 3-wave move, you're getting a corrective structure. It does not look like it's the one that's gonna go. So it means you're gonna get this one pushing up here to retest the top here and possibly get this one before you go. Okay, so this is how you look at the structures. So most people give up before understanding what we're trying to do. So you need to learn how to identify the patterns, and you also need to learn how to use the Fibonacci rules as well. Because as you see here, you'll see that I'm showing you levels with the annotation. Those levels are not the Fibonacci levels. I'm not showing you the Fibonacci levels during the webinars. Okay, so that we do in detail in the group. We look at Fibonacci levels. We don't look at support and resistance. Even though here, coincidentally, it looks like when this got here, we were looking at this one to be the resistance. That's not how we look at patterns. We're looking at this as a structural level, and this is the pullback that we're looking for, and this is what we're anticipating. Either it does this first, or this first, and then it goes, or it can just go from here. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Look for this corrective structure here. Look for this corrective structure to make a move outside here. Come back here. If you take the trade here, you need to move it to break even when it gets to this level, because from there, there's a likelihood that it does that before it goes, or it can just go from there and go. All right, so that is the S&P 500. It's similar to the Dow. The Dow as well, I showed exactly the same thing, exactly the same structure. Move. It's exactly the same thing we did with the S&P 500. You get a corrective structure in the middle there. Let's get this one here. And you get this one here. And that is your running flat there in the middle. Okay. So that is the structure, WXY. It has gone up in 3 waves. That is why I'm expecting that this one may only come retest the top here and come back for one before it goes. It can come back impulsively, and some people may panic again and think this is crashing. We're still looking for this one to push higher. Okay, so whether it comes down impulsively or in 3 waves, we know what to expect. Okay, we know how to label it, whichever wave sequence it comes down with. Okay, so that is what you're going to be looking at. Look for this one to push higher. Okay, so that is the Dow and the Nasdaq. Let's look at this one. Let's go higher, daily. So it's the same. You can see that we've got the pullback here. I've just smoothed it up by using the daily. It's a 3-wave pullback. So after the 3-wave pullback, this one could be pushing higher. We could be getting a correction here, daily correction. When the daily correction is complete, you keep buying it because you're expecting this one to go and complete the wave 5 to the top. So this is also wave 4 on the Nasdaq. So you've got a pullback and a pulse. So look for this corrective structure. Maybe a couple of days here going sideways before we push higher. Let's look on the 4 hours, see how this one looks. Now if you look on the 4 hour, this one could even do this. You've got a move here. It's actually a 3-wave move up here, 1, 2. This one could come down here and make this corrective structure before it goes. So you need to track it and see how this one plays out. Just remember, once most of these are going to play out, it's not going to play out live on the webinar or it's not going to set up on a Friday and then I'll just come here on a Sunday and say it's set up, buy it on Monday. These are going to set up at any time. You need to know how to take these trades on your own, depending on your strategy. That is, if you are not part of our group. All right, so that is the Nasdaq. Looking at the Nikkei, let's look at the Nikkei daily. So the Nikkei is slightly different from the others because we're not looking for a wave 5 here. We're not looking for a wave 5. Let's have a look. We're looking at this. This looks like it has made a WXY move, and that's because of the nature of the structure here. It is not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you've got a pullback here, and that looks impulsive. So what could happen here is that this one could go sideways, does this before it pushes higher. As you can see, this is not a pulsing move. It is a corrective structure. Okay, so now we've had the move to the downside. We need to get another corrective structure. It does not have to pull back up to this level. It can even just pull back and make a zigzag like this before it pushes higher. But either way, we're looking for this one to make a slight pullback just like the others. So while S&P 500, we're expecting it to possibly go retest the top there, the previous high, this one could just be doing this. Okay, just to be in correlation with the S&P 500, because they must be doing mostly the same thing. Let's look on the 1 hour as well, see what this structure looks like. 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, this looks like a 3-wave pullback. Even if you've got a gap, this is a 3-wave pullback. Now we've got a pulsing move here, you've got a corrective structure. Can this now start playing out and come down here? Let's have a look at it. Either that or this one can make a flag like this. Then we push again with 3 waves before we come down to make this structure 3 waves. So you see, we're playing with the patterns, only the patterns that Elliott has discovered. So that's what you're going to be looking at. So there is no setup here, except if this one is going to do this, and this one be a flag, 1, 2, 3. We come down, correction, then we come down. Look out for both possibilities. That is the Nikkei UK 100. UK 100, slight pullback as well there. Very minor pullback. You've got a pulsing move. Looks like it's correcting. It's still going to push higher. It's got higher degree. So look for more upside on the UK 100. Okay, we've made a 5-wave move. I actually thought after this one makes this pulsing move here, we're going to get a corrective structure that does this. But a corrective structure, this can still be a corrective structure. At some point you get this, retesting the top here, one down before we go. Or this is the all a correction and it goes. Remember, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a pulsing move. It's rare. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. Okay. So it's not everything is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but when it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we label it as such 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. There's some people that watch these videos and they see a lot of 3-wave moves and now they go and label everything 3 waves. And then some will look at the entry-level theory or the contact that you get on Google, and then you see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, and then you want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC in each and every chart. So you label what you see, and that is what is actually correct according to the principle. Okay, so there's a specific principle for that. It's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. You need to learn this in detail. Now look for an entry point for this one. Okay. Right, now let's carry on here. That is the UK 100. You're going to look for this one to continue to the upside. What else are we missing? The Nikkei we've done. The Dax, let's look at the Dax now. You can see all of them have made those pullbacks that we spoke about last week. That is your pullback. It's not crashing, okay? It's not crashing. It is a pullback. You need to understand what a pullback is and what a reversal is. Now you've got a pullback and you've got an impulse now. This is the direction of the move. Look for it to push higher. Okay, actually what we looked at this one is this one. We looked at this one to be a running flat here. 1, 2, 3. Now you need to get a corrective structure here. Okay, after this 3-wave move. So let's see how this one plays out. That is the Dax, Nifty. So Nifty, this is how we've been looking at Nifty. So Nifty, we spent quite a bit of time here focusing on this structure. Okay, I'm looking at a bit of detail of this one because there's somebody who made a comment on the previous video that we've looked at the number of or different alternatives on the same pair. But that's not how, if you need to understand how we're looking at these structures. So firstly, this is what we looked at. There's no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Here is a 3-wave structure. We looked at this one as a 3-wave structure. Okay, so if that is a 3-wave structure, we looked for this corrective structure. We focused at this one. You remember, if you watch previous videos, go look around the dates where this is was forming, and you'll see that we looked at this one to be a 3-wave structure there, and we looked at this one to be this pulsing move here, correction in 3 waves, and then a pulsing move here, and then we wanted it to move to the upside. Now you can see that this one has pushed up higher with an impulse. Now this is a impulsive move, so this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Now if that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means this cannot be a 3-wave move. This is what happens when you know the rules. You know what patterns to disqualify, which ones to confirm. So with that, that means that this first move here has started with a diagonal. So this is a diagonal. It can only be a 5-wave move, and the diagonal is a motive wave. So you have this one as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if that is the case, then you've got a simple ABC structure. ABC. Okay, why is this a C? Because it is an impulsive move. Now, what should happen after this? You've got a 1, 2, possibly this could be a 3 or 4 and a 5, or it could be complete, but you cannot see it here unless you go to the 1 hour time frame. So what I'm seeing here is that we have here, let's have a look here. We have this one as a pulsing move. We're gonna extend this one as a pulsing move. It's a possibility that this could be another pulsing move, but based on the other cryptos, I don't think that this is gonna come down with this move. So what could happen is that you've got a pulsing move here. Let's show it in yellow. Yes, you get a pulsing move here. You get a move here. Get a move here. You get this one to do this. So now this is a forecast. You adjust the forecast as you go along. Just make sure that while you've got a focus, you're not losing any money. You've got a clear pulsing move here. You know, after a pulse must come a correction. So you should get a corrective structure here for at least a move that's similar to this one in size to around this level. If this is going to come down here, it is simply making this higher degree structure. So that means you're not coming down. You are trending with the corrective structure on this one. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So this will be an ABC move here in the yellow degree. ABC. So the challenge here is that some people are trying to watch these videos and learn the Elliott wave principle from this. You cannot learn the wave principle from this because this is the application. You have not learned the theory. You need to learn the theory. You need to know. I mean, there are 13 patterns, and each and every one of those 13 patterns has got characteristics. They've got rules, they've got guidelines, and you need to know all of those to understand. There is also over and above. So this is what we do in the course that nobody else is doing. Everybody can learn the theory. You can learn the structures and what they do. But what they don't have, they don't have that we have, is the specific strategy. We've got a clear strategy that tells you whether to take a trade or not, right or wrong. It will tell you whether it is time to take it or not, and whether it is confirmed or not. So there are 3 things we looked at. 1, 2, 3. We look at the structure, and the structure must confirm first. Then there are indicators that we looked at. 1 and that is number 2 and number 3. I'm not going to talk about the indicators, but number 1 is the structure and the sequence. Then these 2 must confirm whether we take that trade or not. Okay, so there is a specific strategy that you use to take these trades. So you could find that you're wrong with this one here. In terms of the sequence, you are looking to take the trade, but your indicator and your structure does not confirm. Then even if you're wrong with that analysis, you're not going to take that. Okay, because this is no magic. You're going to make mistakes sometimes. The forecast, what I do here is the easy part. It's forecasting. You know the direction, but the strategy gives you the timing, tells you whether it is ready to be taken. There is a specific strategy that we use, and that is the advantage. All right, so you've got the Nifty having made this expanding flat here. As you can see, it is not going up in it was not going up in a corrective structure, so we looked at this one to be making an ABC move possibly, or because this is 5 waves, it can actually make make a 1, 2, 3, and this one makes a big wave 4 here, and then a 5. Because this can be labeled 1 because it's 5-wave structures now. 5-wave structure now. We're looking at it as a diagonal, and this is a clear 5-wave structure that can be a wave 3. So those are the two alternatives, and this is how you look at the structures. All right, so that is what we're looking at on the Nifty. So you'll see that this is a wave 5 here on the Nifty. Let's have a look here. We're still going for a wave 5. So now if we're still going for a wave 5, this could be this 5-wave move in the lower degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then your wave 5 will be complete. Now if you look at this one here, there's a possibility that this one could have made a regular flat. Let me do it in pink because that's the degrees it's in. 1, 2, come down here and move like that. But it does not have to make this one. This can actually be a wave 4 here. So that is just an alternative there. So we're looking for this one to make this move here to the upside. Can even go up as a diagonal. Can even go up as a diagonal. Okay, so let's keep an eye on it. Okay, as an ending diagonal in wave 5. That is the Nifty. Right, and then lastly, the Sun Pharmaceutical stock. We've looked at this one here as a 3-wave move here. You can see now it has dropped as expected. It's now dropped. Okay, as I said, it is correcting right at the bottom of the pattern. So a break below this here, this one could make one more down before we get any sort of reversal, or it can actually just keep continuing to the downside. But what you're seeing here now is that there's an impulsive move to the upside. It came down here, it went up again. Now there's this move here, so which means there's a possibility for this one to go and retest the top there. Right, so let's go into the US dollar pairs. Let's go to the US dollar pairs. Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar, we're still looking into that diagonal. That's the diagonal we're still looking at on Euro US dollar. We are in wave 4 here. We're going to go into the lower time frame to see how this is playing out. Okay, wave 4, we're expecting this one to be like this, come back for 5, then we get that pullback that we're looking for. Just remember, as I keep saying, this does not have to make a pullback in a zigzag form like this. It can be a regular flat, it can be an expanding flat, it can be a running flat, it can be anything. Right, so let's have a look here. Let's go into the detail, wave 4. So wave 4 is coming down here in this move, this fashion. We had a pulsing move here. Okay, this one here coming down, as I showed you last time. This is a pulsing move, so that's a correction that looks like it needs to come down here. Okay, said it's going to come down here. We actually took this straight up here, this level. Okay, we're looking for it to come down here. There's a likelihood that this one from here can make a move like this, and that would be a complete wave 4 like that. And then we come down for a 5. So what are we looking at? We need to see what happens when we get to this level. I could have looked at this one to be a simply a 1, 2, 3 wave pullback, and then we come down. But this structure does not exist in the Elliott wave theory. Okay, there's no structure like that. So this structure needs to be related with it. Come down here, come back up here, wave 5, then we go. So let's see what happens when you get to this level. Okay, still a corrective structure, so a number of alternatives can happen there. That's the 4 hour, you look for it to come down here. Okay. US dollar CAD. Now, US dollar CAD is going to be an interesting one. So this one, if it had tagged the top here, we're going to look at this to be an AB-based pattern. Let's have a look at the overall structure first. Let's look in the daily, see what we're looking at now. US dollar CAD is correcting at the 61 level. That is your correction. Remember what we had here, 1, 2, 3. I've been showing this one for a while now. Let's switch off here. I've been showing that after this pulsing move, we have, let's do that in red, 1, 2, 3. I hope you can see the red clearly. And then you've got this deeper corrective structure here. Now you've got the first leg of the new correction. So this is your W because that's 3 waves. You've got X here. You've got the first leg there. Now you're looking for the second leg here. This would have been your ABC structure. A, B, C up there. Now this is your first leg, similar to what you had here. Now you're looking for this one to come down here and give us a C. That C can possibly retest the top there. So this is coming down with this move here. Look for it to come down back to this level. I'm going to show you the level properly on the daily, because that's where it's going now. And then it will possibly make a move like that to the upside. After coming down, make this move. Now, if that is the case, then we're going to expect a big move from there, possibly back here, and then went up here. Or this could be the end of the move, and then we're coming down. Okay, so either way, we're going to get this big move up to this level first. If it's going to keep going, then it's going to go to the next level down here. Okay, so either way, that's now a big move coming on the US dollar CAD. Okay, so let's have a look. But now it's coming down with this structure. If this is not going to push higher like this, it may actually be the end of the move right here, and then we start the move there. So either way, you don't want to miss it. Now let's look at the 4-hour and see how we get involved with this one. You've got a passing move to the downside. Wait for a corrective structure, clear corrective structure, take it down here to this level. You need to take it down to this level because that level would have completed a simple regular flat like that. Okay, now when you get to that level, you need to move it to break even, because if it starts correcting there, that means that move has ended. If you start getting an impulsive move there, that means you're getting that reversal and you're going to get that one up first before you get the big move to the downside. I prefer this scenario where we get the move down here and we go up first. For now, we're coming down. Okay, so that is just like a potentially great move coming on that pair, if you keep track on it. Right, so that's US dollar CAD. US dollar Chief should just be doing what the opposite of what the euro is doing. The euro, we're looking for the euro to push slightly to the bottom. So this one, we're looking for it to push a bit to the upside. We looked at this one in our daily webinars. We simply looked at the structure as a 1, 2, 3, but because euro was looking downside, we just looked at we just looked at this one to make a correction and push slightly higher, so that when the euro is done, reaches that level, we want this move to come down. Now let's just show this one, both of these in the same screen, so you can see the correlation that we're looking at here. So right hand side, okay, left hand side is euro US dollar. Right hand side is euro US dollar. Right hand side is euro chief, so it's US dollar chief. Left hand side is euro US dollar. You're looking for this one to correct, come down to this level. This one, because of that correction, you simply want it to push slightly higher. Okay, after this one reaches this level, because you're expecting this big move here, we'll be expecting this one to come at least retest the previous high here. When this one comes down here, this one will possibly be making a pullback here for further move to the downside. For now, there is no setup. You're just looking at the correlation. You can see clearly that the euro is coming down, but here there is no buy setup. Okay, even if you're trying to sell here, that's not a very good move to take, because it has already moved so much. Okay, but I expect this one to at least come down to this level. Right, let's go back to one chart. Pound US dollar. Now the pound pairs, that's where the big moves are happening right now. Let's look on the daily. Now pound, we looked at this one to be possibly making this corrective structure there. And there's two alternatives that we looked at. This one, if it comes to the bull box and we don't get a reversal, then that simply means that the expanding flat here is now playing out. That's the same thing that you will see on pound chief as well. So that expanding flat looks to be playing out. And if that expanding flat is playing out, the next stop for pound is here. Okay, not necessarily the next stop, actually the next reaction area. So which means from around this area, if you get corrective structures, you keep buying. So this is why I said the market is trending. There's already been a big move to the downside. Okay, so because there's no reaction from the anticipated blue box here, that means this expanding flat is now playing out. So now this is a trend, and when you've got a trend like that, you just keep with the trend. You get entry points, you just take it down. You just have to take it down, easy like that. Every corrective structure, you take it down. Okay, now be careful around this area. You may get a bit of a deeper one, but if it breaks this, then you're getting an even bigger move to the downside. Why will you get a bigger move? So let's look at the weekly here. Let's look in the weekly. Now, if you look on the weekly, you've got this move. You've got this move. That's a correction. You've got this move. Okay. Now, from there, what you're getting here is you've got this one as a corrective structure, WXYXZ. Now, after that one, you had a pulsing move here. Let's have a look here. You had a pulsing move here. You get a correction here. There's a pulsing move there. You get this one. This is the expanding flat that is now playing out. Okay. Now you've got this corrective structure. This one could be another corrective structure that comes down to this level. And that is a big move from current levels. That's 700 pips to the downside. Okay. It has already dropped from around this area of 900 pips to current levels at 27. Okay. So that is from 34 to 27, over 700 pip drop already. Okay, so now there is still an opportunity for another 700 pip drop to this level, but first it should stop at around this level. Okay, so look for entry points to take it down. Okay, so the pound pace looking downside up until that level. Now breaking that level, I think from there it should make another move down here like this. Okay, so that is long-term focus. There's a number of possibilities that I can show here before this plays out. So let's just do it for interest sake. If this confuses you, just forget it for now. We'll update this as we go. So there's a possibility that this one does this. Okay, this one makes another W, another X, another Y, making a deeper corrective structure here. And if that is the case, you find that this is your three-wave move. That is your big W, 1, 2, 3, big X, and then you make a move. So you can focus this one in up to infinity in terms of the structure. Okay, so we know what to look at for the rest or for the whole cycle of this pair. Okay, because of the waves, because of the structures and the way nature in which they interlink with each other. Okay, so we can do that high level, high degree. We can do that in the lower degree as well. The lower degree is just we just have where we have an advantage that we've got all the data that tell us what the next move is. Now the next move on this one, you just need a correction. Look for it to test that level. Breaking that level, we're coming down to this one. Okay, so now into the lower time frame for our. Now I'm showing you that straight line on the weekly. So at some point you may find that you're getting deeper corrections here, like that for downside. So just be careful when you're taking them. So these small corrections here could be tricky because you find that you take this small correction and then it starts correcting deeper like this and it takes you out. Okay. But for now, if you get anything similar to this, you're taking it down. Just keep taking it down. Anything similar to that in size. That is pound US dollar, Audi US dollar. So all the pairs that capitulated and made those capitulated moves in January, looks like they're going to retest those lows. Okay, look at that. So this one, we also looked at this one to be making a three-wave structure that was going to reverse from the blue box, but there is no indication of a reversal from there. Okay, so which means that this one is also, like pound, is going to retest the previous low here. So any corrective structure, take it down. Right, that is Audi, New Zealand also. This regular flat here is not, it's not happening. You're looking for this one to come down to this level. Okay, so all these moves, these are potential moves that can be potentially recover those accounts that have been hampered by these corrections. Right, so that's what we're going to be looking at during the week. That is New Zealand US dollar. Lastly, US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR is looking the same trade, the same. It's not necessarily. So Bruce is asking what. Bruce is in the group, so I can answer this question in the group. So once you're in the trade, what time frame do you use? what time frame do you use to track the trade when you want to move your stop? You need to determine where you're going to move your stop first before you enter the trade. So that's why you say possibly here, let's say you're taking the trade here on US dollar ZAR, you're going to move your stop when this gets to this level. So it doesn't matter which time frame. So your area where you move your stop to break even is a level, not necessarily a time frame. Okay, so if you're taking this trade, you need to move your stop to break even when it gets to this level or take profits. Now let's look at US dollar ZAR, because this one is looking rather very interesting structurally. So I have always looked, since last year, I was looking at US dollar ZAR doing this structure. Now, after this 1, 2, 3 wave move to the downside, there is this move to the upside now. Okay, and it looks like here we're getting this structure, this interesting structure here. You've got a pulsing move here. You get another pulsing move here. So it looks like you're getting this corrective structure that can do that, retest there, come down here, and then you get a move to the upside like that. So let's see what happens here. You're looking upside here currently on US dollar ZAR. Can do that. And then what will that do? You will have 3 structure, retest the top there, come down in 3 or 5 waves, and then move to the upside. Does not have to come down for this one, because this could be all the correction, and then it can just push higher. Okay, so long term, not good news for the ZAR. Okay, let's see here on the lower time frame. In the lower time frame, we're gonna look on the 4 hour. So 4 hour, look for this to come back here around the 1470 area. Okay, you've got your expanding flat there. Correction, look for this to come down up here. Possibly come down here and then push higher. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. Correction on US dollar ZAR, whether it's on the 1 hour, take that trade, take it up. You need to take it up. This candle doesn't mean anything until you get a correction like that. Okay, so if you're gonna get any moves to the downside, then that will be your corrective structure, but it looks too strong for upside. Let's see, you need to have a clear passing move if this is gonna be like this before it goes. Either way, we're looking upside. Let's use Lazar. Now let's look at the yen pairs. On yen, as I said, all those pairs with capitulated moves are looking downside. So pound yen, same as pound US dollar, well, is looking for this one to make a 3-way move and continue to the upside. This looks like it has made a pulsing move here, correction here, and it looks like it's making a wave 3 here, that we're going to get another 5, and then we're going to get this pulsing move to the downside. Okay, we're going to adjust the structure based on how this one plays out to the downside. So we were looking for this one to have made the 3-way move up here and the 3-way move down here. So it looks like this one may still be a corrective move like that. So let's see how this one is going to play out. Okay, we need to get a bit more data to see how this one is going to play out, but immediate, this one, look for it to come retest the bottom here. Then we'll adjust the structure. As pound yen, US dollar yen, okay, it is reacting the way we expected, but not as strong as we want it to. So we've got a move to the upside. We looked at this one to be a 1, 2, 3 there, 1, 2, 3 there. A pulsing move here, it comes down in a pulsing move, making an expanding flat there. So as expected, we expected the reaction to push higher like that, but I'm concerned about this. It is not looking as like a strong impulse because we wanted to do that. So we'll look at this in the 4 hour just now. Let's look at it in the 4 hour. Okay, so before we do that, so this is your 1. Let's look in the lower degree here. You've got a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, not like that. You've got 1, 2, 3, and then you've got this one as a 1, 1, 2, 3, and then you're looking for this to push higher. So that's your W, that's your X. You're looking for a Y here. That should also go up in 3 waves. Okay, so let's see here if we are getting that move to the upside. If it's strong enough, let's look in the 4 hour. In the 4-hour, it has gone up initially in what looked like a three-wave structure like that, but it looks like that could be something like this, a pulsing move and a correction. And we're looking for the internal structure here to be making a 1, 2 internally like that. So let's just see what is going on here. We cannot see clearly. We need to get a buy setup if we're looking for this one. We don't have any. I looked to actually buy around this area, but it made this move to the downside. So let's watch and see if we get another entry point here that we can take it up. For now, there's no clear setup because this can simply be a three-wave move. It's simply be a three-wave move like that, and then we keep coming down. So we need to watch and get a confirmation from that. No confirmation as yet. Euro yen also looks like there's no clear indication of any reversal there. So if this is the case, that can do that and come down. So the yen pass, we need to get more data to confirm the direction here. We've been coming down here. Let's go to the daily with on euro yen, expecting this one to also, like the others, come into the blue box and push higher, but that has not happened. So we've got this as a three-wave move. Let's see how far this one goes. Are we going to get that reversal with a V pattern and then we push higher? Let's look in the 4-hour, see if that V pattern is coming with the divergence. 4-hour, there is that divergence. So if you get a buy setup on the euro, you take it. Okay, this one has not confirmed the buy setup according to our strategy. So for now, this is not a trade to take. That's the structure that we're expecting. And the V pattern has played out as we expected, but it needs to confirm with a pulse. Nothing yet. So the yen pairs are not clear at this stage. Chief, same. You've got a pulse here. You've got a correction. This correction looks immature because it can still do that. It's a move down. It's a three-wave up. It can do that. And then push higher. So let's see if we're going to come down here first before we push higher. Higher degree, daily. Okay, we're looking for this one to do that. Possibly just makes a three-wave move and then come down. Let's watch. Audi, same. Let's look for corrective structure. All those with capitulated pairs looks like they're gonna retest the bottom. Keep getting entries for downside. New Zealand, same entries for downside. You need something similar in size as this for downside. CAD. So CAD, let's have a look at CAD. Looking at this structure, but you saw that this structure on, let me just check which pair has got a similar structure with that one. So we can track and follow the same. I think it was Euro JPY. Let's just have a look. The structure I saw that is similar to this one that did not play out. You can see it's exactly the same. Euro JPY has got the same structure. So depending on what happens with the euro may play out first and give us a pullback here, and we'll just come to this one and follow. If this move happens on the euro, it will definitely happen on, sorry, if this, no, I'm looking at the same pair. Let's get the CAD. Let's get the CAD. I want CAD and euro in the same screen. Why are they both changing? So I've got CAD on the side, I've got euro on this side. Yes, is what I'm looking for. So as I was saying, you've got CAD making a three-wave move like that. You've got euro making a three-wave move like that. Now, what we were anticipating was that after the V pattern, we're going to get at least a pullback like that. So the euro, in terms of structure, it's ahead. You may find that the move happens on the euro first before it happens on the CAD. So the CAD may just follow the euro after this one has played out. And then if this happens, we just come to the CAD and watch how this one plays out, because it would have happened and it would be an almost guaranteed move that this one will do the same. So you can watch the euro for what's going to happen on the CAD based on the correlation. Okay, back, that's CAD. And that's all on the yen pair. So right now on the yen pair, you don't have any clear setups. So rather wait for more data before you get involved. Let's look at silver and gold. Right, gold. So with gold, we looked at this one to be a pulsing move and a pullback. And I was expecting here to have a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, did not play out like that. It looks like we're getting a three-wave move. It's a pulse, it's a correction, it's another pulse running flat on gold. Now you're looking for this one to come down and make this three-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Simple as that. Now look for corrective structures and take gold back down up until around those level. Okay, that's how you adjust silver. Silver also, the diagonal does not look like it has played out. So it looks like you've got a pullback here, 1, 2, and you've got this one making a, let's look at this here. A move here, in this degree. But because we've got a pulsing move here, we just need to check it. Let's check on silver what's going on here. This is the diagonal that we were looking at on silver. Structurally, there's still a chance that silver can reverse at current levels, because you're allowed to have, let's look at this. If this were a diagonal on silver, that would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So this 5 is allowed to break through before reversal. Okay, so structurally, I cannot see the structure that explains why silver must keep going down. Okay, so let's see what happens with this. Because if this is a wave 5, let's redo. If this is a wave 5 of the diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is a wave 5 of the diagonal, this is allowed to break through here and reverse. That is that throw over wave 5 on the diagonal. Okay, so let's watch and see what happens. For now, otherwise, this will just be a 1, 2, and then we start counting this one as a pulsing move. Let's see. Need to see. I don't see any reaction here for upside, any reversal indication for upside. But let's see what happens when the market opens. Then we'll adjust that one on silver. Okay, but because gold looks like it's going down, this one may keep going down as well. It's a possibility that we can look at this one as a running flat though, but not a very nice one, not a very nice running flat. But as far as the rules are concerned, this could be a valid one. Actually, that will be the structure. That is the only structure that we can explain right now what this is doing. 1, 2, and then you look for this one to come around that level. Okay, that is silver and gold. Let's go to the pound pairs. Pound chief. Now, pound chief, we could have looked at this one to be a regular flat, but by looking at the rest of the pound pairs, it looks like this is going to keep coming down. Okay, so pound chief is also playing out the expanding flat. So this is why we expect that this move here on the pound pairs is going to keep going down. So if you get corrective structures on the pound, keep selling, keep selling, keep selling. Okay, because you've got here an expanding flat that we looked at as it was forming 1, 2, 3 like that. Now it looks like we're getting that move to the downside. Now, if that is the case, it means that this is the move that you're looking at. Move down, correction, and move down. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. Very interesting. We've got this correction here. A, B, C there. This is A, B, C there. Okay, now you're going to be looking for this one to make another A, B, C. And that in the higher degree will make a bigger W, bigger X, bigger Y. Let's see. But for the pound pairs, look for entry points for downside. trend is down, there's no indication of reversal. Okay, that is pound chief, pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, a lot clearer than most. Let's have a look here on the structure. Look at pound New Zealand, looking very clear. Remember the trade that we took on pound here from this level to come into the blue box, and then we're looking for downside. Now we've got that corrective structure, 1, 2, 3. It has completed up to that level. Now you've got a pulsing move. If you get a corrective structure here on New Zealand, you're going to get a big move to the downside. A similar move to this one for downside. Now what do you need to watch out for? What you need to watch out for on this one and to take the entry, it's not just the trend line. You need to look at this one to start correcting, whether it's on the trend line, whether it's outside the trend line. If you get that, this one is going to come make a stop down here about 500 pips lower than current level. Okay, so watch this one. This is a clear potential trade setup. Potential trade setup here for downside. Pound Audi, same. Pound Audi looks to have completed the move to the upside. Okay, there's an AB base pattern here. We're not going to discuss the AB base pattern today again. I have discussed it in one of the videos. Fortunately, I did not name the one that has got it. But if you are watching these videos, you should be watching tons and tons of them, and you should come across with 1 or 2 videos where we talked about the AB base pattern. Now, you just want a correction here for a big move to the downside. Because with this on Pound Audi, that means this corrective structure that has been forming since 2016 may have completed. It may be done. That is the structure. And when we look at this structure, we looked at this as a 1, W, X, Y, X, Z. So this could be the Z here, and it could be done, and then we're looking for downside. So I think I just need to make an adjustment here. So this will be the X, and the Z could be this expanding flat. Z. You get an AB base pattern that reverses the whole thing here, and then you get this move, which is this one. So potentially big moves coming on the pound pairs. Let's have a look here. So the next stop here would be first here, if it comes down in a straight line. So now you need to go down into the lower time frame. Let's go 1 hour and look for entry points. So I'm showing you those moves to the downside in a straight line, but it is not always going to be in a straight line. You just be surprised a couple of weeks later that the move that we focused on has actually played out and you were not able to get in. So let's have a look here. So if you get a setup for a buy here, you've got a move here, you've got a corrective structure. So it made a 3-way move down here. It could have gone back up here. But what we need to look at is any corrective structure for downside. You take it. Take any corrective structure for downside. You can see that there's a potential for upside here. Let's see. We're still looking downside. We don't have any sell setups. Let's see. I'm expecting this one. But New Zealand is the clearest one. A correction on New Zealand, we're taking it all the way down. Pound CAD, similar. We're coming down. Let's go daily. So now all that corrective structure on pound CAD, now it's all here. We're looking to take it down. So what you're looking for here is this move, this correction that we looked at for some time, and then we're looking for this one to make a move all the way to the downside. Okay, we're already out of the structure. Already out of the structure. So any correction, take it. Minimum, that's your minimum level, take it there. Could come back down to this level. Okay, that's pound CAD. Euro pound, very interesting that it's doing exactly the opposite of what the pound pairs are doing. Now, if you want trade euro pound, simply wait for a corrective structure and take it up. Now, this is why I was saying there's a lot of setups happening now, because we've got the pulsing move indicating the reversals, and the trend looks to be intact in terms of the directions of the impulses. All you need to wait for is corrective structures. Pound pairs are looking downside, euro pound, because the pound is the quoted pair. Look for it to push higher. Euro Audi. Now Euro Audi is a bit interesting here. Okay, this was the previous high on the euro. It was retested and we came down here from the beginning of the year, retested that level, we're coming down. I was actually looking for this one to come down here in a straight line. Okay, why was I looking for that? I was looking for this structure, 1, 2, 3. Let's have a look here, 1, 2, 3, running flat, and then we come down. Okay, but it doesn't look like that is the structure. So let's look at the immediate term. So after retesting the top here, we had a 3-wave move down here, and after that we're getting a pulsing move. Now you need to get a correction here to go retest the top here. If you retest the top, that means you're going to come back for 1, and that means euro Audi is not done, and we're still going to move to the upside. Remember, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagonal A, B, C here that we're expecting. It did not quite. Let me just show you the structure here. We're looking for this one to be an A, B, C correction. It looks like it may make another. It's a pulsing move. It's a correction. It's another pulsing move, and then we get another 3-way move. Let me do it clearly. 1, 2, possibly this, possibly this. Same color. This is now forecasting, and forecasting can be adjusted quite more often than the setup. So if that is your ABC, that means your first ABC becomes your first correction, your second the correction becomes your connector, then you get a Y, then you get a continuation to the upside. So that means Euro Audi will keep pushing higher, and that is all happening here at the previous high. So let's see if this correction becomes extended and we push it to the upside. Now, what is the immediate thing to look at here now? You've got a pulsing move, you're looking for upside. Any correction, taking it up. New Zealand, Euro New Zealand, the same. So Euro New Zealand looks to have made this corrective structure here. Let's switch off here. Is this going to reverse from these current levels and drop? Based on Audi, we just have to watch. If we get a correction here, this is going to go all the way up. Let's see why we're looking at it like that. It's actually going to be interesting. So do not rush either way. Wait for it, because this is a clear regular flat at this stage. It will be invalidated if we get a correction here and a push higher. Okay, so we need to see if we're going to start getting an impulse. Even a small one on the 1 hour, I'll be looking to take it, because make it feel like that. Okay, so it could be opposite of what Euro Audi does. So we need to look and track both of them, but overall they shouldn't give us the same structure. One will give us direction on correlation. 4 hour, let's see what we're getting there. Are we getting continuation? Looks like there is some divergence, and that divergence can simply make a 3-wave pullback, and this one pushes higher. So that divergence doesn't mean anything at this stage. So we need to watch this here. We need to watch how this plays out. Now I'm sure if we look on the 1 hour as well, let's look at this one. There's divergence on the 4 hour. Let's look on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, similar, there is divergence there. So that divergence can just pull it back, push it higher. Okay, so wait for more data there. If you see an impulse, look for corrective structure for downside. As possible. Right, that is Euro New Zealand, Euro CAD. Euro CAD, same direction as US dollar CAD. Getting a corrective structure here for one more down. Euro Chief, very interesting. Now, if you look at Euro Chief on the daily, we looked at this regular flat. I said, look out for two things here. If this starts correcting here at this level, you're going to get a push up higher and this is going to be invalidated. Now, if you get a pulsing move here, you'll see that you're going to need to just keep selling now, keep selling. You're not late. If you get entry points on Euro Chief, take it down because that could be the structure, regular flat, and the move to the downside all the way. So keep selling Euro Chief. Euro US dollar. Okay, I think that's done. That's done with the euros. Let's look at some of the cross pairs. Let's look at Audi New Zealand first. Audi New Zealand has made it. It is not take this level here, so that's not an AB based pattern, but it keeps coming down. So if it starts correcting here, keep taking it at least back to the 50%, 61% of this. New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD. We'd made a pulsing move in 5 waves. I was thinking that it was going to make 1, 2, 3, regular flat and continue to the upside. Looks like it has made an A, B base pattern and now it has made a reversal. Okay, so we've got this one here. Look for corrective structures. Take it back to this level. New Zealand Chief. The same pulsing move. We expected that it was going to make a corrective structure there. Look for it to retest this top, this bottom here. CAD Chief. Looking to retest this low level here. May correct here and come down here. Just showing the latest direction here, not necessarily all the analysis on this cross space. We can do them in detail as we get more data. Right now, lastly, we look at oil. Now, oil has made a 3-wave pullback. Let's look at it in the 4-hour. Let's look at oil in the 4-hour. You've got a 3-wave pullback on oil. It's a 1, it's a 2, it's a 3. Now, from there, it has made this 3-wave move. It's a 1, it's a 2, it's a 3. It's a likelihood that we get 1, 2, 3 again on oil before we push higher. If you don't, you're going to get a corrective structure here, and that will mean that this is all the correction for further upside. So wait for these two things, correction or a pulse in the opposite direction. I see there's a slight pulsing move here in the 1 hour. Let's see if that correction is going to play out. So if you get a correction here, then that move is going to play out before you go. Okay, so that's all I had for you guys. Good luck trading in the week ahead. Please hit this like and subscribe button so you can get the notification next time I post the videos. Have a great week ahead. Good luck trading. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.